Hey YouTube, this is Dean making another vid. If you like my content, please consider hitting the like button. Also, please consider subscribing, as it is very much appreciated. Okay, I've got everything on there. This is a video about my Tinder mat. Got the idea off BeaverBushcraft. I saw them for sale, and I had a heap of leather scraps that I had on an old leather lounge that I'd cut all the leather off. And Beaver Bushcraft sell these Tinder mats for sale. And I thought, oh, I've got a whole heap of leather, so why don't I make one? So I did. Anyway, that's a Tinder mat. The idea with these is you can put them down on the ground. So if your ground's wet, and you can lay your Tinder out on it. So if you've got your polypores, say you've got polypore, you can lay it on the ground. So if your ground's wet, you can be fooling around with your Tinder on your mat and not have your Tinder get wet. So it's a good way of protecting your Tinder, processing your Tinder on your mat without getting it wet or whatever. It's also a good way of being able to identify your Tinders on your mat, because it's a nice background for it, and it's a good way of having it all on there without any worries of getting it in on just laying it out on the grass or whatever. Anyway, so I thought I'd make one up. Theirs is what do you call it? Got oiled conditioner in it. I've got leather conditioner, and I thought about putting it on there, but I actually didn't worry about it. This is just some of the old leather that I recycled. So yeah, I'm just going to go with that at the moment. Seemed to work out really well the way it is. So yeah, I'm quite happy with it. I just glued it together, run some stitching along there, and put a piece of leather lace on there. So yeah, just you can roll it up and then put the lace on it just to store it if you want, whatever. So yeah, I just thought I'd show that off. Yeah, it's not a bad little idea, I thought, and I like the idea too. If you don't worry about the Tinder idea, you can just lay it down and put your gear on it, and you know, if you're fooling around with have your tin or whatever, you know. So it's also a good way of putting your stuff on it rather than just throwing it on the ground or whatever, you know. I've also seen other people use a piece of hide or whatever, but yeah, because I had this the leather, spare leather, I thought I'd just make this up. So yeah, anyway, that's my Tinder mat that I've made up. I thought I'd just show it off. But yeah, that's a good way of recycling leather, bits of leather. That's the main, probably the main part of this video is if you do see, if you have like old bits of leather, like from lounges or whatever, yeah, don't throw it away. Just recycle it. Try and think about bits and pieces. I did find this, because it was on a lounge, the leather wasn't very good. So yeah, you have to really work out what you want to try and do it for. Some of this is not going to be good for pouches or any of that. So this is why I thought for the this sort of project it was perfect. But if I tried to do it for a pouch or something, it wasn't going to be any good, because even though I put conditioner in it, and it still wasn't coming up supple enough to make into a pouch or any of that sort of business. So yeah, that's you just have to try and work with the materials that you've got. So, you know, because it was stretched out so taut on the lounge, the leather became very hard. So yeah, even I soaked it in with leather conditioner for ages, and it still didn't come up very good. But for this sort of project, it turned out very good. It worked out really well. So yeah, but you just have to work with it. So it depends on what type of project you want to do. But yeah, that's my Tinder mat. Anyway, I thought it turned out all right. Yeah, all the stitching was pretty good. I actually got it reasonably straight this time, so which was always a bonus, because yeah, it's all hand stitched. So yeah, that's it's always better when the stitching turns out. I've got to do that a little bit tighter. I've actually been storing it without rolling it up, because yeah, it tends to get all bowed up. Anyway, that's my Tinder mat. Thanks for watching.